This is Purple Power, but boy, there's really great news tonight. As a bunny rabbit now is a viewer of this channel as well. Boy, I mean, I'm just covering the entire animal species. One viewer says that every time I start coming on air, the rabbit runs into the room to watch me. Thinks I'm a carrot. None of those carrot top jokes. Thank you. The rabbit just really thinks that I am just the cat's meow or, yesterday's lettuce. My response is, there's the road. Go find the roadrunner. Elmer Fudd is very excited. Mitch, he's just, doesn't Mitch McCall look like Elmer Fudd? He's just like, this, so long as it takes pressure and attention away from my lobsters, I'm very good. Now tonight, the Temple of Doom's introducing a new stimulus bill, which I'll begin to shortly, and those cows are sort of mooing all the way to the bank because they are in Club Med, with their feet up, the hoods up, and enjoying a nice milkshake while enjoying the stimulus checks they got, while we haven't gotten ours yet. But we're close to the line. We're moving forward. It's not other nonsense anymore. We're near the finish line. And for now, cue Hody. Cue Hootie, because the blowfish is about to get battered. We're on the way to Red Lobster, and guess what? It's all about to get fried. Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Evenings LALATE, and this is Purple Power, the broadcast that puts you in control, that encourages you, informs you, and gets you ready for the next day. This is the spirit of this channel. It has been the spirit of this channel since day one, which ironically tomorrow will turn as the 5th-month anniversary of this channel, launched on April 25th. I really appreciate you for joining me and being a part of this Purple Power community. And tonight, in which I have incredible great news, which is breaking even since the last broadcast, that I will go over what you have now achieved and what will be coming tomorrow. Yeah, there's another bill. So get ready. If you're not subscribed tonight, so just subscribe. So go to the front of this channel and subscribe. We're approaching 270,000 subscribers, and boy, what a run it's been. Also, like this video, because it's going to be the best darn video about rabbits you're going to watch tonight. Let's get to the incredible details. In a night in which no one would have thought we would have done something like this in such a short period of time, but we have. Let's reflect on where we were 7 days ago. As a community, we were being told by one woman, don't come back to me unless you give me exactly $3.4 trillion. She was calling Mark Meadows whatever his name is. She was not answering his calls. The problem solvers were coming to her door. The problem solver, and she's not letting them in. A week ago on Tuesday, the problem solvers introduced a bill, and she immediately called it a Republican bill when it wasn't, immediately rejected it. By the end of last week, Democrats and Republicans were starting to make the tide as the Purple Power was heating up. And they were saying, you know what? I'm going to have a voice, and I'm not going to support what you're doing. And that was because you gave strength to those people that may not have had strength and may have been worried about their position in the Congress, and you said, no, I support you. Speak up. And that started. She immediately rejected them, saying, I don't hear that from them. And then last night, she heard it really loud. She heard it really loud. I'm putting up my cow jokes. That was not the thing I wanted to hold up. She may have heard from the cows as well. She heard from these people who wrote her a letter that, I got to say, the letter did not go viral. The letter was hardly picked up. You may not have heard the letter in a lot of places because it did not get a lot of coverage. That's what she wanted. She wanted no one to talk about anything of dissension, but dissension is what we've done. And tonight, the achievements of the Purple Power are absolutely incredible. Let me explain to you where we are, what's going on, and what's happening. First, our focus remains one thing and one thing only: really getting this to a vote, and getting it to a vote right away, and getting it passed. We don't mean vote in one house of Congress. So we have put all our efforts behind the problem solvers because it's a bipartisan bill. It's a bipartisan bill that the president supports. It's not bloated. It took a lot of time and effort and includes a lot of stuff. It has some errors. We're going to fix the errors. More about that in a second. But that's the bill that we're supporting. The bill really moved the focus and got people to realize, oh, we're not doing the right thing. Maybe we're in the wrong place. It got Republicans who were down at $500 billion realizing that's not going to work. It got Democrats who are up at $3.4 trillion realizing that's not going to work. But we weren't done then. Then I told you to go on social media and push behind, get the support behind the problem solvers. Tell them you support them. Tell them I want this as law. Get behind the new Democrat coalition. Get behind the Blue Dogs. They're actually the people, among the people who wrote this letter. You know, when they write these congressional letters, they don't say they're their minor caucus alliance, but this movement in the last few hours is absolutely categorically incredible because of you. I mean, this is the fourth day of this Purple Power broadcast at 7 o'clock on this channel, so you can see how quickly we've done things. By the end of last week, I told you that there were Republicans and Democrats in the House and the Senate who are now breaking with their parties and saying, no, we got to get a stimulus package done now. We got to get it done now. This is just silliness. And guess what I also told you? I told you to get behind those people. I also said, go push at our third point of pressure. Seats for stimulus. Seats for stimulus. All one hashtag. I said, hey, these are congressional leaders, Senate and Republicans, Senate and House members who are up for re-election. They think they're so cozy that they can just float into the election and not give a stimulus and we're going to re-elect them. Tell them no. Tell them no, they're gone. You don't give me stimulus, you're gone. And you started the pressure, you continued the pressure, and the pressure started to evolve. There was a report out today, which I detailed in one of the videos, in which an analyst said, hey, the problem with this Congress is they're a bunch of lazy, I almost said a bad word, a bunch of lazy people, and that they never saw your second stimulus as a time element priority. I absolutely categorically agree with that. You know, when I first came into the stimulus discussion of this channel, I was reporting in late July where that deadline was coming up. I was August 7th, and I said, well, they're going on vacation. They got to get this done by August 7th. I mean, who would not get this done by August 7th? Of course, you're going to get it done by August 7th. You're going to be gone till September. We can't sit around till September with no stimulus. What did they do? They just left. I'm like, you literally just left? You left us with no stimulus in July? Who are you? Now, this was at the time that I was already pissed at them because they allowed your FPUC to expire in late July while they're on vacation. I thought, that's insane. What was also insane was that they had put your FPUC to expire by law when they're on vacation, when they wrote the bill back in March. I'm like, these are a bunch of weird people. Like, who does that? But that was July, and I thought, okay, maybe they won't act so crazy again. Oh no, they were acting back crazy just this month. And then we saw the problem. We saw these are people just don't want to get things done. They're just lazy people collecting their retirement checks on our tax dollars. Who are these people? That became seat for stimulus. Get them out. Get them out. They're not doing anything. They just collect checks. They just collect their salary and they just go home and do much of nothing. Get them out. Who are these people? And they got nervous. And it worked. That's Purple Power. It's pushing the pressure in a polite, positive, motivated way and keeping our spirits up, keeping ourselves motivated, but doing the correct thing to get things done. And it started to work. Throughout the broadcast today, boy, I have 40 pages in my hand and I got more by my side. All these quotes came out, whether it's John Shalala, it was all these congressional leaders that said, we can't go home unless we have stimulus for them. We can't go home unless we have stimulus for them. Then the other quotes, we're not going home unless we have stimulus for them. So two things happened. First, they understood they're not going home. They're literally not going home. And second, they're not going home unless they have stimulus pass. Now, I want you to understand, this is so important for Purple Power tonight, is you need to understand two things about that. 1, we actually need the stimulus passed and in our hands. This thing about I write a bill, I introduce the bill, I talk it on the news, I appear on Jimmy Kimmel, talk about my piece of paper in my hand. What is that? It's a piece of paper in your hand. I don't care about the piece of paper in your hand. I want the check in my hand. So it has to pass as a law. It has to pass House and Senate and then be signed by the president. Just talking about something you do in your house is a partisan public relations effort, and we're not buying that. We're not stupid anymore. This is the purple power. That's the first thing. The second thing is we're back to the High Fox News. Remember when High Fox News was, about August? It was when Fox News told you everyone's leaving town and nothing's happening. Now we have the antithesis of it. Now it's Hi CNN. CNN's doing the version of it. So CNN wants it to make it look like the Republicans are leaving and not giving you relief. So and the other version was Fox trying to slam the Democrats. Now it's the Democrats slam. It's just okay. We got it. So the bottom line is they're not leaving. Yeah, some may want to leave. Some may leave. Some may get on their Learjet or their ice cream truck and drive home. But these people said, "Hey, we're not leaving. So you want to leave? Go ahead and leave. We're not leaving. We're not leaving until we have it as a law." So the important thing to understand for Purple Power as we go into tomorrow, and I got to tell you, I freely admit it's going to be a confusing 24 hours. It is. Because you've heard so many bills. It was first the HEROES Act, and then it's the HEALS Act. Then we had that Mitch bill for a week. Then we had another Mitch bill. Then we had those Steve Mnuchin negotiations. Now we have this thing tomorrow. Then we have the problem. So how many damn bills are these people writing? That's sort of my point tonight. Stop with the bills. Just get it done. Just get it done. So what I want you to understand is our efforts as the Purple Power is to get a bill passed. Now we have to get voted on, but we have to get a vote, and it has to get passed. The bill that's coming from the Temple of Doom tomorrow is not something that you want to get behind, and I'm going to tell you why. It will be a positive thing, but it's not a bill you want to support. Why? It's $2.4 trillion. No Republicans are going to support a $2.4 trillion bill. Even if it comes into $2.2 trillion, they're not going to support a $2.2 trillion bill. It's sort of like, I just told you I'm not doing that. Why did you go and do a $2.4 trillion bill? Now, what are the provisions of it? So you at least know. It's basically has almost what HEROES had in it, but some stuff has been reduced. They're not telling us what's reduced, but they are saying it adds in PPP, which was not in HEROES, and it adds in airlines. Yeah. Does it give you another stimulus check? No. No. It doesn't cost them to give you an extra stimulus check, by the way. That's one of the things I forget to always mention. It doesn't cost a lot more money to give some extra stimulus checks. Why are they so adverse about giving an extra stimulus check? Why are they so adverse to raising the check from $1,200 to $2,000? It's just really not clear. But it's going to be introduced. There's going to be, dog and pony show. She'll maybe brush her hair a different way. And that's about it. Maybe it'll get voted by the House, maybe it'll be approved by the House. It's never going to see the time of day. So are they going to leave town and say, I did this and it's the Republicans' fault? Well, the $12 ice cream woman will. But do we care? No. Do we care that it pushes the subject to the front page of broadcast news? Yes. We want stimulus to be front page news. We absolutely categorically do. And you all understand that. And you've all been talking about that in the comments. I've seen it. You're worried about the Saturday press junket by the president talking about the Supreme Court nominee. I got it. But it also, the other thing that's good and positive about this is that it really puts pressure on the president. The other big news tonight at the 12-minute mark, I should have led with this earlier, is that Steve Mnuchin says he's going to renegotiate. She's going to starting up full-time, daytime negotiations with the Temple of Doom. Why are you doing it now? I mean, where have you been for 3 weeks? And he's doing it after a House subcommittee slammed him for, where have you been for 5 weeks? What have you been doing? Okay, I'll do it now. Of course, no one ever slams her when she says, don't come to me unless you have 2.4. The bottom line is you need to focus on the second pressure point. That's the president. President guaranteed you stimulus checks. He has not delivered. He has not delivered. Now, I understand he's the executive branch. He's not the legislative branch. But he has not delivered. He can do executive order. Where's the executive order, Mr. President? Do the executive order. Send out the friggin' stimulus checks. It's no less than 7 days ago that the viewers of this channel said, well, let me back up. It's no less than 10 days ago where I said, legislatively, this whole thing is imploding. Let's just focus on executive orders. I mean, he's going to do it. He has the money. He wants to win the re-election. Sending out the stimulus checks gives him a 3 percentage point and go higher in the polls. He'll send out the stimulus checks. He'll get the 3 percentage pop. He'll do it right before you complete your mail-in voting, even though some mail-in voting has started. He'll do it. Still hasn't done it. What is he doing? Stock market is crashing, as Jim Cramer on CNBC Squawk Box on this morning said. Turn to David Faber. This is Jim Cramer, who goes to lunch, admittedly by his own accord, with Steve Mnuchin all the time, like once a week. He says, "What is the president doing? Why is he not sending out stimulus checks? Why is he not doing executive order? Does he does he watch the stock market, David?" David Faber's like, "Of course he watches the stock market. He watches the stock market all day long." He says, and then Jim Cramer's like, "What's he doing? Does he want the stock market to crash and implode? And then he's going to do a stimulus package? Why is he just not doing, why is he not, I would just assume, give them everything they want to give them and just get it done. What are we doing?" That's sort of where I am tonight with the president. You don't give an executive order for stimulus checks when you have the money. You don't give executive order for FPUC when you have the money and you have the legal authority. Then what are you doing? Why are you in there? Ultimately, viewers of this channel, I don't know what you're going to do, but I know what I'm going to do if he doesn't do an executive order, and the legislative process of this doesn't implodes. So you have to push the pressure point on the second one. Mnuchin, Meadows, Trump, do the executive order and send it out. What are we doing here? It's as simple as that. Viewers always ask me, what if the president did executive orders for stimulus checks? Would we get 2 stimulus checks? I always say no, but I mean, maybe we could. Maybe we could. If the president executive order for stimulus checks that went out tomorrow, would that trump the stimulus checks that are in the problem solvers bill? Perhaps not. Let's go over the problem solvers bill. $1,200, this is sort of an example. The problem solvers calculation may be different than Trump's stimulus checks. Why is this Trump sending out $2,000 stimulus checks? Why is it Trump send out $4,000 stimulus checks? He said he sends out more generous than the Democrats. Well, now it's time to show us. The problem solvers bill is at $1,200 individual, $2,400 married couple. President send out $2,000 and $4,000 checks for married couple. How about that? Let's do that. Problem solver bill pays dependents $500. We need to fix that to $1,200, whether you're on SSI, SSI, Social Security, or railroad benefits. Next, FPUC needs to be fixed on the problem solvers bill because it's not retroactive. It's $450 for 8 weeks, which is great. Then $600 for 4 weeks, which is great. But that retroactive needs to be fixed. EIDL needs to be fixed. It has EIDL, but does not have EIDL grant. Need that $10,000. Need to fix Chavita's problems. Need to have no cap on EIDL loans. And finally, hazard pay. It's not on the problem solvers bill. Is hazard pay in tomorrow's Temple of Doom bill? Depends on what flavor ice cream she's eating for the day. As we sit here tonight, you've done incredible progress. You see what you've done in 7 days. I don't have to tell you. It's absolutely categorically incredible. Because as I told you, the way that social media works, and I've had some wonderfully nice comments from people, like someone literally said, I'm not being disrespectful. This is the way the person said, "I'm old. I don't do Twitter. Can you do it for me?" I said, "Sure." She said, "Can you tweet the president? I'm old. I don't know how to do Twitter." "I'm fine. I'll do it for you." Which you don't, I need to remind you is the way that social media works is that people see all these things happening and suddenly they see everything going on and it hits them. And I told you that if you have a Twitter account that has anywhere less than about 800,000 followers, you see this stuff hitting you. You go online and suddenly you have 85 notifications and you were just online 10 minutes ago. Like, well, who are these 85 notifications from? You see this and suddenly you feel the pressure. Keep it up. You're getting to the finish line. We're almost there. Don't lose hope. Don't be negative. This is why we stay positive, because positivity, information, pressure, focus, and attention, and focusing on what you need to do to get to the finish line ultimately gets you to the finish line. We're almost there. We're not there yet, but we can get there if we continue to push. Go to the Finish channel, subscribe, and also like this video. It's a great community. It's the strongest community. A lot of people helping one another. I really appreciate your time and tuning in for tonight, and also like this video. Coming up next is Mornings LA, tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, stay focused, and stay of LA for more.